20 tactics, explained one move at a time. See how many you can spot before I do. White to play, what's the move? Checkmate, the queen walks right in, backed up by the bishop. Black to move, can you spot it? Check. And the same move wins the bishop. There's no reply that saves it. The king steps away. The bishop can't come with it. So the bishop comes off, just as promised. That leaves us a piece for 2 pawns up. Your move. What's best for white here? We take the pawn with check, and the same move forks the king and the bishop. The king has to move, and the bishop is left behind. And we help ourselves to the bishop. Black promotes a new queen. Check. We win the queen for free. That leaves us ahead on material, and the position is winning. Black to play. What would you play? We take the bishop, and that forces checkmate in 1. Forced, the only move. Checkmate, the queen walks right in, backed up by the bishop. White to play, what's the move? We check the king, and that forces mate in 1. Forced, the only move. And that's checkmate. White to move, can you spot it? We win the pawn back, and the material is level. Check. Black grabs our pawn. We win a free bishop. That leaves us the exchange up. Your move. What's best for white here? Two targets at once. The king and the rook are forked. Check. The king must move, so we win the rook. And there it is. We collect the rook. Black takes our pawn. Check. We win the queen for our pawn. That leaves us ahead on material. Black to play. What would you play? We let the knight go with check. The queen can't take it and go on guarding the rook. White takes the bait. That's what the knight bought. We win the rook. That leaves us ahead on material. Black to play. What's the move? We give up the rook on purpose. It forces checkmate in 1. White grabs the rook, the offer accepted. Checkmate, the rook walks right in, backed up by the bishop. White to move, can you spot it? That forks the king and the rook. They can't both be saved. The pawn that could take our knight is pinned to its own king, so it can't. Check. The king has to step away, and the rook is ours. So the rook comes off, just as promised. That leaves us a rook for a pawn up, and the position is winning. Your move. What's best for black here? We fork the king and the rook. The pawn that could take our knight is pinned to its own king, so it can't. Check. The king must move, so we win the rook. And we help ourselves to the rook. That leaves us a rook for 2 pawns up, and the position is winning. Black to play. What would you play? We give up the rook, and the mate follows. Checkmate in 1. White takes the rook, just as we hoped. Checkmate. We finish it off. White to play, what's the move? We recapture the bishop, and it's a discovered check from our rook. That leaves us behind on material, but the position is a draw. Escape complete. White to move, can you spot it? We give up the rook, it forces checkmate in 1. There's no way out. Black takes the bait. Checkmate, the queen walks right in, backed up by the rook. Your move, what's best for white here? We take the pawn with check, and the same move forks the king and the rook. The king steps away. The rook can't come with it. We recover the rook, the score is even again, and we're threatening mate. That's the tactic. White to play. What would you play? And it's a discovered check from our bishop? That pawn is passed. Nothing but pieces stand between it and promotion. One more step, and this pawn promotes to a queen. Promotion. A shiny new queen joins the board. That leaves us a queen for 3 pawns up, and the position is winning. White to play. What's the move? A fork. One move hits both the queen and the rook. Black plays on, but the queen is still in the net. We win the bishop back, and the material is level. Black pulls its queen out of danger. We trade queens. Check. Black grabs our queen. We win the exchange. That leaves us ahead on material. Black to move. Can you spot it? We check the king and fork the bishop. It can't be saved. The king has to move, and the bishop is left behind. We recover the bishop. The score is even again. White goes after our queen. We win a queen for our rook. That leaves us ahead on material. Your move. What's best for black here? We win the bishop back, and the material is level. White takes our bishop. We offer the bishop with check. The king can't take it and go on guarding the queen. That's a discovered attack. Our rook now hits their queen. White grabs the bishop, the offer accepted. Now we collect the queen for the price of the bishop. That's the tactic. White to play. What would you play? We invest the bishop for the pawn, a sacrifice, not a slip. Check. Black takes the bishop, just as we hoped. Up goes the passed pawn, now 4 squares from the back rank, and the king can't take the pawn and go on guarding the bishop. Check. We take the bishop back, material is level again. That's the tactic. Every one of those was explained by the same engine that reviews your games in ChessImprover.